Okay, now let's get to urban folk. Let's get to y'all going back to Jim Crow. Where is that at? You ready? All right. You guys are going back to Jim Crow. The Supreme Court, I believe, will gut the Voting Rights Act, or at least portions of it. Okay, it's coming. You're okay. All right. So there's one part of, I think Robert said, this is all from Louisiana, right? Louisiana is going to be the catalyst. So the issue of it is, all right, the court ruled that Alabama's congressional maps violated the Voting Rights Act protections against racial gerrymandering, and that the state must draw an additional district with a black majority to ensure black citizens' political power in the state wasn't illegally diluted. Do you understand what that means? They rezoned the voting maps to favor black people so you can have a better outcome in your elections that you don't participate in. Okay? Somebody on the other side said, no, that's illegal against other people, not black. So this is going before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has already given you notice that they may not vote in the favor of the black citizens for the rezoning. You understand how important this is? No, you don't, because a lot of y'all don't care. And that's okay. Let's continue. So it is the Allen versus Milligan 2023. This is the case. All right. Now this goes, the original case was Louisiana versus Calais. Okay. Now here's your clue. Here's your clue. All right. Nevertheless, at Monday's argument in Calais, all 6 of the court's Republicans suggested the court does not care about its recent precedent. They all appeared to be looking for a way to strike down these new maps. 4 of the justices, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, and Coney Barrett, dissented in Milligan, so their questions aren't really surprising. Roberts and Kavanaugh also seem highly skeptical of Louisiana's new maps. They're going to vote against this. Okay? Kavanaugh has made it clear he's not entirely sure that much of the Voting Rights Act is still necessary. Do you understand what's coming down for y'all down the pipe? You're going back to Jim Crow, and you're going to enjoy yourselves like your grandmammies and your grandpappies used to. Okay, you're gonna eat it. Okay? Now. Yeah, no? Let's see. In the Milligan case, Kavanaugh wrote a separate concurring opinion arguing that the Voting Rights Act protections against racial gerrymandering must have a sunset date. It must end at some point. We can't keep favoring you blacks in perpetuity. It must have an end date. Like a lot of your contracts have a sunset clause. After so many years, this contract is no longer enforceable. Do you understand? And he repeatedly asked questions about whether he should impose such a date in Calais. He did, however, suggest at one point that this question may need to wait until a later date. Okay? I think they're going to vote against this. Okay? I think they're going to vote against this. So Calais is actually one of the 2 cases involving Louisiana's congressional maps. Before Calais was even filed, a federal district judge ruled in another case known as Robinson versus Ardoin that Louisiana's original maps, which had only one black majority district, violated the Voting Rights Act as it was interpreted in the Supreme Court's seminal decision in Thornburg versus Gingles. Now, I've told you all, law is interpretation. You can write the law, but everybody around you may interpret the law differently. This is why case law is so important. 50 years ago, they felt this way. 100 years, they felt this way. 20 years ago, they felt this way. Okay? So the federal judge said, the evil federal judge that y'all keep saying is holding up Trump's plan to make America great again. This federal judge say, no, that is illegal. That violates the Constitution. Can't. That's racist. Federal judge said no. That's wrong. Okay. You're going back to Jim Crow. I don't know what else to tell you. Matter of fact, let me see what anyone else is saying. You're going back to Jim Crow. This is back in 2023. No, 2013. Who's at the door? Is somebody at the door? No. Okay, this was the feds. This was the federal.
A federal
ruling.
court ruling today against an important part of the Voting Rights Act, likely setting up another Supreme Court showdown. The appeals court ruled private entities cannot bring lawsuits under Section 2 of the law. Only the U.S. Justice Department has the right to sue. However, that contradicts what has been done for decades. The majority of cases have been from private plaintiffs, since the Justice Department doesn't have the resources to track voting.
Okay, this has all been brewing since 2023. Okay? Some states are seeking to resurrect fallen protections for non-white voters with their own versions of the landmark passed during the height of the civil rights movement. Okay, Democratic lawmakers in Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, and New Jersey are pushing such legislation this session, attempting to join 7 other states with similar laws enacted in recent years. Okay. Even in blue states, Michigan's Voting Rights Act legislation died in the state house after passing the Senate last year. Okay. All right, federal courts, including the U.S. Supreme Court, have whittled away those protections in recent decades, claiming the discrimination that led to the law no longer exists. Okay, so they're saying that there's no more racism. Okay? They're saying there's no more racism. That's why Buddy said there needs to be a sunset date. Okay? You're going back to Jim Crow, depending on what state you live in. Some sooner than others. Okay? Okay. There's that. There's that. Will a new Jim Crow force us? No, it won't. We've had too much. We've experienced too much freedoms outside of oppression. No. We no. Listen, are you gonna? Okay, in a very simple question. For all those that are in interracial relationships, right now, and if Jim Crow goes back into effect, who do you think they're gonna choose? Their white mates or their people? I'll just make it. That's as simple as I can make it. Do you believe the majority of black folks in interracial relationships right now, if Jim Crow gets signed into law, military says Jim Crow back to where you come from, blackie, right? You think those in interracial relationships will choose their white mates over their people, over what's best for their people? Yes or no? Okay. Hey, why not? That's why I don't respect these new interracial couples. They ain't been through nothing.